I'm golden. Slam.
All right.
Okay.
Then, if you're good, Tripper,
Yeah.
we're going to come back on you.
Oh, yes.
And
Hell yeah.
we come back
Screen
in
time.
on Jerome as he's just finished up the copy of the spell from his book to the scroll.
Perfect.
You're sort of examining your work for every little meticulous detail.
Yeah. He's certainly
From what
a
you can tell,
perfectionist.
it's pretty much a perfect copy. You've done this a lot.
Yep.
And I think you sort of let out almost a mixture of satisfied and slightly like annoyed sigh that Sar still gives you this kind of monotonous work, but also like satisfied with your work.
Yeah,
Same
I
time.
was. Yeah, I was.
Like he gives you boring stuff to do, but you do it well.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, something, a slightly mechanical thing. There is, I believe, a cost associated with copying a spell into a spell book. Is that true? Okay.
Yes.
That is something that I need to keep in mind, and I need to see if I can actually afford. Give me.
There is enough money in the room if you want to grab some of that.
Yeah. If I want to appropriate some things. Man, how ballsy is he feeling? Like, do you know the cost of this?
50 gold pieces, 25 gold pieces if it's a spell that is in your type of wizard class.
Chromatic Orb is definitely not abjuration.
Yep. So 50 gold pieces.
Okay. Also, Chromatic Orb is not in the compendium, but that's okay. Who cares?
Like in that drawer, even there's probably like 5 platinum just loose hanging
Yeah,
about.
you know what? He does kind of a value proposition in his head and thinks, this is probably worth 2, maybe 3 beatings. Yeah, and I look at the desk, and this is such a casual thought to pass his mind, which is probably kind of creepy to anyone seeing this line of thought. And he's going to do it. Yeah, he's going to utilize the components.
Okay.
At hand.
So you go around the room collecting some stuff, getting some ink.
Yeah.
Doing all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I need you to roll me another perception check.
Okay. Oh boy. Let me. This should be interesting.
I will
15.
I will roll another one of these.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Bajan
Okay.
knows what this is.
Jerome,
Yes.
as you finish your work, you sort of
Yes.
like pat your like book down,
Pat my
making
spell
sure
book.
like getting all the dust, getting all the dust.
Getting all the deuce
Getting all
off
the
it.
deuce out of here.
getting all the deuce out of here. And
Yes.
you're very pleased with yourself.
Yes.
Then you notice in the reflection of one of the lamps, you see the iguana, your master's familiar, has been sitting on a stack of books, eyes watching you. You're not sure for how long. And you begin to hear start listening out, sort of this paranoia now that you're done with your work.
Yep.
And you're hearing the normal sound of trade and bustle of the city, but it's dying down as if people are being sort of stifled.
Uh-oh.
And there's sort of a sound of quiet muttering in the air.
Yeah.
And you hear the curtain fly open.
Yeah, Jerome,
towards the
like,
entrance.
knowing what's coming, just kind of shuts his eyes forcibly, like,
Yep, you shut your
waiting.
eyes forcibly.
yeah.
And entering the room, the curtain to this room gets pushed aside,
Yeah.
revealing who it is. And you see not Sa, but you see 2 Ueda, who are the 2 city guards,
Oh.
essentially the police, who are standing in the doorway.
What?
Okay. Yeah, I just have my eyes like scrunched shut, but I assume I hear their armor clatter a little bit
Yes.
as they enter.
As they like swing the curtain, you hear like the metal armor that they're wearing clank against the wall, and these guys are wearing masks.
Yes.
Let me show you what the average guy
Mm-hmm.
in this armor, like they don't have like a set armor to wear except for these masks.
Okay.
I will show you what these guys will look
Everything
like.
else is procured.
Yes, they look somewhat like this, sort of like this
okay.
huddled together.
Yeah,
amount of stuff other
ragtag
than
sort
this
of
mask
setup,
and sort of,
except
like,
for this.
Rest in peace, Nosgoth.
and they
Oh
stand
no!
and they stand at the doorway, just arms folded.
Yeah.
And they announce in a dense, pretty formal Silese, the language that is used for most of the bureaucracy in the country. Please, surrender your armaments. The city holds you guilty for theft and possession of somebody else's property.
I just like point to myself. Are you sure you have the right person?
This sentence shall be carried out.
Who have you?
One of them takes a step towards you.
I am not armed. Yeah, I raise my hands like.
Yeah, you raise your hands.
I am not
Intes
armed.
dos cosint, which you recognize as sort of basically them saying like, it's sort of a nice thing they say when they arrest people, which is like, the best of luck with your future.
Oh God.
God, that's so fucked.
Wow.
And they come into the room and make to grab you, and as they enter, you see revealing, as they walk in, you revealing a third person behind them, as you see a grey-haired man putting on an act of victimhood and weakness.
You
recognize this
fucking...
this man is Sa Marira, your teacher. That's him. That is the thief who's been stealing from me, and points directly at you.
Master, what is the meaning of this?
I have never seen this man in my life.
I have been your student for 8 years.
As he's
Please.
pointing at you, you begin to hear magic in your head. The words of your master forming into a sort of chastising retort.
Yeah.
As you begin hearing, you've been here for almost 80 years now, and wonder why I haven't continued your teachings. You're a failure of a student, blind to the way the true world of magic works. I've been waiting, thinking you patient and cunning, and truly you're a simple fool. Your failure to realize that mages have their own Inselejo has disappointed me. And he's just like staring very intensely at you while pointing at you as you hear this in your head.
I don't really have sort of the mental strength to meet his gaze, but my eyes narrow and my brows furrow as I look down. His legs just... Why? And before, as the guards come up to me and I...
Yeah, they've like got you underneath one arm each, so they're like holding you up by your sort of forearms. Not forearms. Whatever this part of your arm
is my spellbook still lying on the table?
You've got it in your hands because you were sort of like holding it.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. If I'm still holding it, then I am good. Okay. Yeah, I'm just... this is...
You're being dragged out, like your feet kind of like giving out from underneath you as you're just letting yourself be dragged.
Yeah,
I'm
like, being dragged.
These guys are taller than you.
As I get to the threshold of the home, I just finish my sentence. Life. This is life.
I want you, as you're being dragged out, to roll me a perception check.
Yeah.
Dude, you just got fucked by your own master. I'm so sorry.
I know, dude. And I didn't think...
You see Sa hand one of the guards to Platinum as the guard walks past, and then points at him, but you're not sure what he says.
Yeah, I assume he casts the message cantrip.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And I just shake my head. And I'm being held by the other guard, or still by both guards?
By both guards. He just like because he's just like holding you up with one arm, takes that, and then like basically like grabs you and is like dragging you out with the other one.
Yeah.
It's just like a very like brief thing, like grabbing it.
Yeah, Jerome just like kind of makes a decision in his head. So since I'm going to jail already, why? What have I stolen? For what reason are you taking the time out of protecting the people to bring me to jail?
No response from behind the mask.
Typical. Basically going to entertain
You're
myself.
You're not
by
going
just
to
looking
jail.
around. What?
As they're dragging you.
Where am I going?
You have become property of the state.
It's better than being the property of Sa Marira.
Yeah, and we see you getting dragged away into the crowd as some people are like moving out of the way of the guards. And
Yeah.
we're going to cut away
Yeah.
to a certain little monkey. Currently placed after being washed and fluffed and conditioned, creamed
Oh God.
Yes.
in a
Yes.
perfectly white hammock in a very rich girl's room.
Dear God. Man, I fucking scored, homeboys.
And
Too
you're
bad
just,
she
like,
doesn't know what I
resting in the
really
hammock.
look like.
Yeah, she's just resting in the hammock. You're
She's
just in the
resting?
hammock.
Oh, I was
Sorry.
gonna say she's resting with me in the hammock? Oh my God. Alright,
Wow.
she's sitting on the side of her bed, like humming and like looking over at you occasionally, just sort of happy that you're here. You interest me. You know, there aren't many who approach me anymore, so I'm glad you did today. Father has been busy ever since he's been meeting with people. Even today. That's why I went out. She looks kind of down, sadly.
I'll look at her like for a little bit, like I don't understand what she's saying, and then I'll just start I'll start like tugging on little bits of jewelry hanging off of her dress.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
I'm not going to change what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep tugging on the little bits of the dress, like just making them shake.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying
So
to
it's making
distract her
jingle,
from
jingle.
her. Yeah, trying to distract her from her like own bullshit that she has going on.
What was
Yeah,
that?
she sort of like smiles and like looks down at you. You are a strange one. Most of your kind hiss at people. So I was very happy when you approached today. I think I'm going to rest for a while if you... She like sort of places her hand on your head and you're like still like jingling.
Yeah. And then I just, as she does, my head sort of retracts into my shoulders, as animals do when you touch them on the head, because they're very sensitive.
Yeah. I think I'm going to rest for a while. You stay here. Try not to wake me during my sleep, little man. And she just moves the sheets over and gets into bed. Like moving away from you as you're like in the hammock, like in the corner of the room.
Yeah, I'll I know this is gonna sound really creepy, but as she closed her eyes, I'll just kind of like linger on her face for a little bit, just staring at her, just sort of, with this like, I have something I need to do. Yeah. So if it's cool, I'm going to start sneaking away as she closes her eyes.
There is so the room, to give you a bit of a better description, it's in corners of it painted with the sort of slightly faded at the corners, sort of pink dresser with a very large ornate mirror on it. Directly next to you, you're in sort of the corner of the room where there's the door on one side, and right next to you is a window. And the window sort of goes out towards a sort of, would it be like a terraced area? Sort of like an overhanging roof of just like a section of the house.
Cool.
Like just off the first floor.
So I'm under the impression I'm going to need to do a lot more climbing, probably, to get around,
Possibly.
or I can just go out the door.
You could go out the window or move through the house. It's up to you.
Well, I think I'm going to move through the house, and here's my logic behind this, is that I know that this is sort of a crazy thing to say, but I'm a bit more inconspicuous not as a monkey than I am as a monkey.
Okay.
Because if somebody sees a monkey walking around in the palace, they might have a second glance, as where if I am walking through the palace and a servant or somebody notices me, if they only get a brief glance at me, they might just kind of be like, oh, it's just a servant or it's just a whatever. Because my guy's a very inconspicuous guy.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm going to
your human form.
Yeah, I'm going to turn into my actual form. I'm going to not be a monkey at this point. But I'm going to do that as soon as I get out of the door. So if she was to see me, it wouldn't alert her.
You open the door, and as it closes behind you, you like look left, look right as the monkey to sort of see if anybody's approaching. And then your form slowly starts to shift, growing larger into the form of like a very nicely dressed human who still smells faintly of perfume.
The honey perfume.
Yeah.
And because this is the first time that we've seen Barabbas, the best way to describe Barabbas is that he's wearing a cloak, just a very traditional cloak that would be a commoner's cloak, and the colors would be a very dull orange, and then his turban would be a baby blue.
Mhm.
And these are just very, very. They're not the rabble colors that you would see like a street commoner wearing, but they are not rich dyed colors either. They're very, very simple, and the way that he's dressed is very, very simple. Where once again, you could look at him and be like, oh, he might be a merchant, or oh, he might be a fisherman, or oh, he might be a this. You're not really quite sure what Barabbas is, and he has a very forgettable face because there's nothing about him that stands out. He's the type of guy that you would look at and see in a crowd and not spend more than 1 second looking at because there's nothing interesting about him. And he's specifically designed how he looks that way. Even just the length of his beard, the jewelry he wears, the color of his cloak, the way that he walks, everything is that he's completely forgettable.
Yeah, so you walk down the halls. Roll me a. Do you have proficiency in stealth?
I believe that I do. I have a proficiency in stealth. Yes.
Okay, so roll me a. I'm going to say this would be a charisma check with your proficiency. So I think it's D20 plus 1.
D20 plus 1.
Yes. So this is basically you doing like a sort of charisma stealth here.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to roll a d20, and this is to see if you encounter a servant. If you get a 10, if you get a 11 or above, you will not. If you get a 10 or below, you will. Okay, you don't. As you make your way through the hallways, sort of like just looking normal, you begin to hear coming from one room a little bit. It's sort of that moment where you get into a stranger's house where you're deep enough where you start feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is an area I probably shouldn't be in. Like when you're a kid and you go up to like the upstairs area of a friend's house.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
you're near their
exactly. And
parents'
then you're
bedroom.
in the parents' area, and you're like, what am I doing in here? Yeah.
Yeah. That sort of feeling sort of comes over you. And you begin hearing the sounds of conversation coming from inside.
I'm going to creep closer and listen.
Okay. You hear... Your arrangements have been made. Simple thing. You sure willing still? And then there's sort of a long, drawn-out pause. Yes, it is what needs to be done. I understand that. There are many things that my friends seem to be failing in their understanding. But what you have planned will truly make this a great place for everyone. Shh.
Do I understand what they're talking about, or is this sort of a vague, out of context thing for me to hear?
This is like you coming into the middle of the conversation, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to creep around to see if I can get a look at these two to see if these are the people that are of import in this house that I need to be spying on, because I don't know them by their voice. I know them by what they look like, right?
Okay, so you sort of like, are you gonna like try and like just look through the crack of the curtain?
Yeah, I'll go up and try and look.
Okay, so you will see as you look inside. Roll me a perception check. You will certainly see this man sitting down, knees folded, the head of the family, the main guy who you're supposed to be looking into. And you will also see another person who I will fucking show you. You see this man kneeling down, a blind man in front of him, and the blind man's head twists towards you. And
I'll kind of like lean my head back.
I need you.
From the,
I need you to make me a wisdom save.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So you feel this force start trying to slow you down as you're sort of like feeling like it's a lot of effort, like you're moving not through air but through like jelly, essentially, as you're trying to like pull yourself back, this sort of air growing thick. You manage to eventually pull away, break it back into normal air. There is someone outside.
As soon as I'm like, oh fuck, the jig is up. I am going to cast. I'm going to cast Longstrider on myself.
Okay. Nice.
And if at all possible, I would like to turn back into my monkey.
Okay. I'm going to need you to roll me a one of these.
Initiative?
Before you do.
Yeah. One of those.
So we are going. This is the first initiative, everyone.
9.
Oh.
Not very good.
10 out of
I
10.
think this is how to spell
9
your
out of
name.
9.
You got a 9.
Barnabas.
That is a.
Oh no. I hope you don't die in the first combat. I don't think you will.
That's the dream.
They're
I
probably
mean, the
gonna
first combat is always like
interrogate you.
really intense because it's like, it's the first time I've ever played this character in combat. He may just get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might just be dead male.
I feel like they're probably gonna, if they get the chance, gonna knock you out and question the shit out of you. But oh boy,
What's their dex? God damn.
excitement.
Yes, I apologize.
It's all good, man.
Okay, so this is with a +2 for
Mater.
the blind guy.
Gatораtor, Materator.
This is with a +4 for a different person. Jesus, you got a 9? Yeah, you're beating both of these
Jesus.
dudes.
That's insane. I'm a lucky
What?
man.
They have one of them has a +4.
Yeah, I'm a lucky boy.
Holy darn.
Actually, I rolled kind of low too, to be fair, though, because a +2 isn't bad.
Yeah.
And then the last one is
It's not good, but it's not bad. Like
No?
it's better than a lot of magic users and stuff typically.
Better than what they got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Then
plus.
the
I mean, some magic users have pretty good decks because that's the only thing stopping them from getting killed or hit, for that matter.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh boy. Wait. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
One man's higher than me. Nice.
This guy is the guy with the 6, and this guy is the guy with the 8. So, let's go into descending order. And as this is yelled, as this is sort of happening, a man that the audience should recognize emerges from the room next door.
Oh.
As you see smoke like billowing out behind him, he just slowly steps out, and almost like lightning, as your form is slowly, like you see your face starts like slowly growing fur out of it as your beard is slowly turning gold. He's just going to try and plant a firm fist into your stomach.
Holy shit! All right.
Uh-oh.
You have cast Longstrider on yourself before this, though.
Yes.
So I need to get up this guy's actual character sheet, not his handout sheet. Sorry.
Oh boy.
So
Longstrider, for those that don't know, makes it so that I can just run way further and faster than I normally would be able to.
Yep.
that'll hit.
Damn.
Ow. That's a good roll.
That will definitely hit.
And you will take that much damage. from
God
his
damn.
first hit. And I need you to make me a. What's a monk's stunning strike save?
I want to
That's
say.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
I
con.
think it's a con, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a con save from you.
I don't think I'm gonna make it. I think it's a.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a
his is
con
probably
save.
pretty good.
It's a con save of like 15, right? Or no?
I mean, it
No,
depends.
15 would be insane.
Depends.
I'm checking. It depends on what their thing
Yep,
is.
what their stat is. What's-
A
Are you
stunning
like-
strike is a Constitution saving throw. So yes,
13.
you fail and are now stunned.
Oh no.
As he hits you in the gut, you sort of bend over, and then your body is just frozen in this bent over position. As he
Oh.
grabs you by the shoulders and is going to try and slam his knee into your sort of solar plexus area.
Nice.
Uh-oh. He's
That'll hit.
if someone's stunned, is it an auto hit
They
or?
they get advantage on the hit.
Gotcha.
But, oh yeah, I'll roll to see if he nat 20s.
Okay.
He does not. So.
Okay.
But yeah, so you take 16 extra damage. How are you doing?
I'm completely down, but I think I am also get 2 death failures.
What's your?
That's only if they crit you
No.
once you're unconscious.
Yeah.
So you'll be fine.
How much health did you
As long as
have?
you don't lose all your health.
I had 4.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, you're just down.
Yeah, so you're just down. As he knocks you unconscious, your body slumps. The sort of stunning force of your muscles tensing up, releasing. You slump over his knee. As he just picks you up under one arm, you see the other two rush out of the room. The blind man looking significantly calm as he just sort of peers around. The
Damn.
noble guy looking extremely distressed, like, and we're going to describe the next of this scene with sort of very quick visions that you're getting, Barabbas, as you're sort of fading in and out
Nice.
consciousness. You see them seeming to have some argument over you, with the noble pointing down at you. You hear the words like, I could just arrange for something to be... And then you're like, pass back out. You fade back in, and you see you're now laid flat on a table, tied down to it with straps. And you see the blind man slowly walking around the room, fade out again. Fade back in. Seems to be later in the evening now. And the blind man grabs you by the back of your neck, lifting your head up slightly. And you see him, with a pair of tweezers, lower something that seems to be wriggling towards your mouth.
Damn.
And this slug thing latches onto and around your tongue.
Fuck.
And as it does, the audience sees, as you sort of your head lolls back, the form of its scales and the skin seem to shimmer, resembling the exact sort of texture and form of your actual tongue itself. Brennan, you are now unable for however long until this is fixed to speak in anything but babbling.
That's cool.
And we get another fade out as when we fade back in, we see you being dragged and thrown somewhere into the dark. And with that, we're going to cut away again.
Damn, dude, I got fucking roasted.
Wow.
Shouldn't have not been the monkey, boys.
Poor guy.
You should always be a monkey, man.
By the way, I have one question just before. Was the man who stunning striked me moving incredibly fast?
Yes.
Because I can almost imagine it like my guy was like, I long strided myself,
walked...
so I went to dodge out of the way, and he was just like, no, I'm quicker. Bam.
Yeah.
Like
He walked out of the room, looked over at you with like extremely sort of slow patience, and then before you like could even respond, he was suddenly like next to you with his fist in
That's
your gut,
crazy,
and you
'cause-
felt the force of it.
That's crazy because my knight Barabbas never gets caught like that. I'm always faster, so that's fucking crazy. That's just I just wanted to know for that sake.
And we're cutting back over to the front of the gate as you guys are being checked in. The guards are two of them who recognize you. Kovas are having a very sort of brief conversation. How was the journey? I am assuming you did not get harassed too much this time. You don't seem to be wearing any bandages. This is towards you, Kovas. I think you're muted. Hello?
Boy.
Kovas.
Mom.
Oh, am I retarded? Hello.
Hello.
I wasn't muted, but my microphone failed to power up, so I wasn't on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, what did you say? I'm sorry.
One of the guards comes up and he's like,
Am I gay? What the
I
fuck?
hope the journey went well. You don't seem to be wearing any bandages, so I'm assuming you did not get any unwanted guests this time.
We got a few, but I'm always quicker. Kind of smile at him.
He like grins, sort of like pats you on the shoulder as his friend is like going over to check the cart.
Yeah, I kind of walk him over to I start walking with him to be like, oh, this is the cart. This is what under the cart looks like. I'm not smuggling anything in.
Yep.
To my knowledge, at least.
Yeah. And as they go over to the back of the cart and
I don't like this music.
spread the curtain to one side,
Yeah.
it exposes a series of crates, and the guy's like, it is just normal shipping. I'm just trying to travel some spice. And the guards like nod. We are going to have to check one of them. I hope you understand. Whatever. Check the crate. As your employer, Kedis, is looking particularly sort of impatient with this whole situation.
Yeah, I'm
one of
standing
the
like
guards-
with my spear, like kind of like resting on it like a staff.
One of the guards goes over and like pries open the crate, and I want you to roll me a perception check.
I have 14 natural perception. Does that count, or just perception check?
Roll me a perception check,
Okay.
but
Easy
just-
18.
Cool. You see, probably before the guard does, as he like gets one of the crates open, you see inside a sparkling white powder that is not as was described to you in what you were transporting. And as you see that, your head turns before the
I
guards
look
do,
over at him.
and you see Keres has turned around and is running towards the gate.
Running towards the gate?
Yes, because the gates are open. The guards are just like checking it.
I
I
don't.
towards the city.
I think I might have dealt with something like this before in my travels. So I like. Seems like I know this guard. So I kind of like touch his shoulder, like, he's running. I'm just like, you wanna,
Guards!
see that?
Guards! And like yells, and you see a series of crossbowmen lean over from the top of the wall, and they're going to begin firing down
No, God.
On Karis or on
Keres.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Poor-
just stand there and watch.
You aren't getting paid, fucking asshole.
I'll take
Yeah,
his
there
money.
goes your money, boy.
I'm gonna take his money after he's dead. Like, come on now.
Well, I mean, hey. Okay.
If anyone hits him,
That's a
Some good
lot of
shots.
crossbows.
I mean, yeah.
city guard.
Holy shit!
All right.
Because they're getting a lot of
1,
shots. Yeah.
2, 3.
It's just rolling till he's
5.
dead.
I kind of wish they would all have like rolled below 10s. They just all missed, and he just kept running. That would so.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Oh
As
my
he's
God.
running, he just gets hit by crossbow bolt in the shoulder, and that sort of like slows him down. One hits him in the sort of like one of the hands as he's like flailing, trying to run towards the gate. One hits him as he like stumbles forwards in the back of the ankle. One hits him in the thigh as he tumbles forwards, and then 3 more land into his back.
What happens to innocent until proven guilty?
The such thing as that in this land? What are you talking
And
about?
then
Welcome to this town.
one of the guards, your friend, turns around. He's like, "I'm
Yeah,
sorry."
I kind of like tilt my head a little bit. I'm say, "What do you mean?"
By the law of Mazina, you are under arrest, Kovas,
Fuck.
for the possession and transport of illegal materials.
I just kind of like lower my head and I say, "I could just get my money and I could leave. It's no problem. I'll never come back to this city." That
One
won't
of the
bother
other
me.
guards comes over as your friend is sort of like looking at you sort of sympathetically and grabs you by like one of the arms.
Yeah, I kind of look up
You
in
look
the
up
air.
and see all of the like 20 crossbowmen lining the walls.
That's fucked,
Oh
dude.
my
Don't
look up-
run.
Yeah, no, I look up in the air and I think, and the thought crosses through my mind is, could I run faster than those crossbow bolts? And like halfway, it's kind of like, probably could, more than likely. And then I'm just like, I'll never be able to. Like, this is my main source of income, so you know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna like go into court. They're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna spend a few days at a cell, and I'll get left out because my buddy will, be like, hey, he's on good behavior kind of thing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
right.
The
So,
guy who
like,
grabs you by the arm.
Yeah,
takes
I-
it, he's like, by the law of Mazina, your life is no property of the state. And
I
the
kind of
other
stop
guard,
for a second.
other
I'm just
guard-
like,
the other guard looks over at him and he like babbles something in really quick Silese. He's like, what are you talking about? These new rules put into place by administration. He like looks back at you sympathetically as 2 more guards start walking towards you from
Say-
behind from the actual gate itself.
yeah, I say, friends, necessary. Will abide.
Sorry, your voice is kind of cutting out.
Oh, sorry. I say, friends, that will be necessary. I will abide. I like sheath my spear onto my back, and then I say, right. And I kind of like just put my hands up a little bit, and then put them behind my back, and I start walking forward towards the gate. My head
Yep.
kind of sunk a little bit.
We all just
And
got
we're gonna cut away from you
I started
Over.
fucked.
over towards Mace. And Mace, you've been hanging out here for a while, getting to know your new best friend, Orcman, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Wow.
Maybe
some
shooting
people.
some people, maybe.
No
But
skull.
mostly just
Shooting
sort of
some rocks into the cesspool. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
There
god.
we go. And you're sort of hanging out with the other guys, and you begin hearing the sounds of more booted footsteps. And your friend looks over you. Ikar says, "I usually bring them in more than one at a time."
Huh.
I suppose it's maybe they're going to a different cell. And as he says that, the gates fly open, and a very frail-looking, youthful man, tan skin, is thrown into the room. This person does not look anything like a fighter. He's draped in cloth. As he lands, his book that he's carrying clatters to the ground and slides away from him. The orc leans over and picks up this strange book and is like looking at it. And Jerome, you've just been thrown into this cell.
We're all so fucking dead.
Welcome to
Hey.
the pits.
Give that back. Yeah, and I'm gonna reach out my arm for the book in his
You
direction.
want the book? Holds it up, like just out of your reach slightly.
Merak, just give him his book.
Please, it's all I have.
He won't be long for this world.
What? Yeah, I look toward you with just exasperated face.
Can you fight?
I
Don't-
suppose that he will need it if he dies. Bury him with it. He just throws it and it like hits you in the chest because you like try and grab it and you're like dexterous enough.
Yeah, like the thing is, this book is probably fucking a tenth of how heavy I am. So it's just, oh, thank you. But you, Dragonborn, what do you mean? I was told I was the property of the state.
Yes, this is a fighting pit.
Yeah, I just
They will
look.
pit you against other slaves, and you will
One
fight.
of the guards comes over and grabs you by the wrist, and you have to like take a hand away from the book.
Yeah.
One of them grabs the book from you. We will put this with the other weapons. And starts moving out of the room.
Just look kind of defeated.
Yeah, they slowly like clasp your wrists in irons and then chain it to the wall, much like everybody else, onto these chain anchor rings on the wall. You're attached to one of them.
If you need to shit, there's a trough there. If you need to piss, it's the same trough.
Very peculiar. They don't usually have more than one per day, let alone 5 in a cell. Like Ikal's kind of like observing you with intrigue, sort of like hand on, like sort of like the thing where he's like tapping on his teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe they want more meat. They want more shows.
Do you think this one will be able to put up a good fight? Magic
this-
is boring. It is not spectacle.
I am up and down and just be like, no.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If I were thrown into a fighting pit, there would be no fight. My bones
This
would be
is
crumbled into
Why it's
dust.
peculiar. Did you annoy somebody with some power here?
My master put me here, from what I can tell, but the guard said that I was proper.
It seems somebody wants you dead off the books.
Oh. I don't
Or do
understand
they
why
have some
I'm
new
worth all of
stupid
this.
rule in place? I'm going more Russian with this accent as it goes on.
Yeah,
I
you
love
are.
it. Love it.
But I don't think I'm worth all of this. Just to be killed in some pit.
I mean,
You start hearing some sound of argument outside. And some movement.
can I listen and see if I can tell what they're saying?
Yeah. It's like, you roll me a perception as you try and listen in.
Yeah.
Your wisdom is not your highest stat.
it's my lowest.
Give it your all. You only manage to
Hold
catch
on.
one distinct word, and it's just because they yell it, and it's just like overstuffed in Silese, and
Overstaffed.
then more argument.
Stuff.
Overstuffed.
Stuff.
Okay.
Like a fat chicken.
Yeah.
And you begin hearing bootfalls heading in your direction after the argument subsides.
Are we all going to die?
I wouldn't say we.
You're a very strange dragonkin. You.
Pits will do that.
The iron door slowly screeches as the doors swung open again, and you see a black panther being with chains clasped around his wrists thrown into the room on the floors again. A long chain extending from his arms.
Fuck.
Well, we have a lot of guests today.
Yeah. I
There are
kinda-
also more guards than there should be, and 2 of them come in and go as they're sort of trying to beginning to work on the sort of chain anchors to tie up fucking Kovas. 2 of them come in and start untying Niall's chains. The halfling.
I would stand up full stride and
Mhm.
just kind of look at the guards like, hurry the fuck up already. Like,
Yeah,
I've probably
and
been in
the
this
guy-
position a few times.
The guy who's your friend has just been like he basically
Silent.
got like pushed out of the picture. Like
Yeah.
he was there at the gate, but then like they wouldn't let him like escort you here.
Yeah.
Something weird's going on.
Yeah, I guess it does seem kind of strange because I think I've probably been in this situation a few times with all the people I help.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's
The guy
escorted me every
said new
time.
rules, but that still doesn't like seem to explain
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
to you.
Do I get the sense that Niall's being taken to fight?
Yes.
Yeah. So as she leaves, I'm just gonna say, "May your foes fall and you not fall."
She just spits on the ground like over one shoulder.
Oh well.
Whatever.
Is that a real saying here?
This is my saying. I've seen enough people come through.
Kovas, the guards have sort of left you now in this room with these strangers.
I'm just kind of looking around.
This
everybody.
one looks like something I would have as pet. I'm going really Russian now. That's the orc saying that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a
he looks-
relatively strong and tall
Yeah.
guy. Does he seem to be strong, like tall, like
Yes.
stronger physically, a lot stronger?
He's taller, though he's probably about as built as you.
Oh, okay, so he's not as okay.
He looks like he could fight just fine.
Kind of narrow my eyes towards him, and I say, "I've seen tougher things in the Bloodstone Oasis." And I kind of just look at him.
He just shrugs. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's the desert of the damned. The zombies, the undead. They come for you in your sleep, you see.
Wait. How do you not know what the Bloodstone Oasis is?
He's not from around here, you idiot.
I'm the idiot?
Spits on the floor.
Yeah, I look at the two of them.
Yeah, I say, yes, that means he's not from around here.
I'm from here. I don't know what it is. I've never left these halls.
If I had to guess, I would surmise he's probably from somewhere a bit more east.
Just nod my head resignedly.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I'll have to wait a little longer for some brains to come in here. And I say that low enough that none of you can hear it, hopefully.
Yeah.
I probably.
I mean, there's no chance. that-
Yeah, I was
no
gonna say,
chance that
I have
Mace-
really high perception.
Yeah, Kovas might, but Mace is not going to hear
Nope.
anything.
Oh, someone else came in the cell.
You hear yeah, you just yeah.
On cue.
You begin hearing on cue more shouting, argument from a distance away.
Is it common that so many are
No,
brought?
no, not at all.
No, this is
It's
quite,
quite
peculiar.
you and Ikao say at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You're both like, you owe me a
You guys are so in sync.
a water. You owe me a water.
You owe me
Jake.
clean drinking water, bitch.
Yeah. You owe me a tooth from your next kill.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll have
It
it.
is strange they bring more than 3, and usually at a time, not spread out like this. Hmm. And the guards stop marching as the argument again subsides. And thrown into the room is a man who looks a lot more beaten than the rest of you.
Yeah,
He
I've got
looks-
a huge black eye, like
Yeah,
that's swollen up and just fucked up.
yeah. And he's just flung into the room, still with his turban and just in his normal clothes. And you know that usually people are like, this is really weird, Mace. People are usually stripped down of way more of their items than these guys. These guys seem to have just been thrown in here with you.
Do I even have my sword on me still?
No, as they throw you into the cell, 2 guards will like grab you by the back of your like whatever garments you're wearing, like by the sort of neck area, and just yank you to your feet.
Mm.
And they'll start basically like patting you down, and then like strip off your belt, remove your scabbard, anything that you have on you, basically. And
Yeah, there's a the belt that gets taken off of me is underneath my robe, and as they take it off, it's a big, thick belt that has a scimitar strapped to it, and there are 10 darts lining the whole back of it.
Yeah, they take the belt and just like lift it, and the guy just looks at you. You may have these back in the weapons room before your fight.
I'm just going to look at him very, very angrily, and I'm going to reach into my the side of my vestments and pull out a little symbol, and just Torashit Kavsalalaflama. And I'm just holding this thing, and I'm just staring at him like.
When he's doing this, I look at the guard and I say,
the guard looks at you and just like takes it from your hand. They brought us a madman.
well, when the guard starts walking
Really
out,
funny one. And starts turning away and walking out.
I just say, I did not. He's like gibbering. I look at the guard. I did not know they throw bar fighters in here now. Trunks. What is this?
No. Man.
Yeah, I kind of look, and I'm looking very upset that they took my symbol from me. It essentially looks like a maybe some of you have seen it before, maybe Corvas has seen it before, but it's essentially a badge, a symbol of my status in the government here.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have seen it before.
Yeah, and they took it from me.
Skink. The guard nods for you to come over. He's nodding at you, Dragonborn.
Sorry. I'd approach him.
Your fight will be in not too long. Apparently things have been sped up. And you'll be
Apparently.
fighting in lethal. And he just closes the iron sort of gated doorway to the cell and just turns around.
Well, we all have to go there someday.
Ikal looks over at you, he's like, what did he say?
My next fight will be a lethal fight. Only one will exit.
He nods.
But
Well, good for you, I suppose. In some ways.
he said you
Bad
were-
for the other fellow.
Yeah, he grins, like pats you on the back.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
When the guards show up to take people, how many show up at once?
So it's usually except for the time where they took Nile, it's 4. 2 come into the room, 2 stay outside. So if the 2 that came into the room got killed, the 2 outside could still like close the door, basically.
Oh, do the 2 inside have keys on them? Do we know that?
No.
Or no. Fuck. Never mind then.
Yeah,
I was gonna fucking kill 2 people with my bare hands and uncut myself.
and yeah,
Um,
they exit and shut the door, telling Mace that.
I'm gonna
Leaving
turn
the group of you sort of alone in the cell. The 6 of you, I think.
and I'm gonna greet the new guy. Welcome to the fighting pits.
Yeah.
Do you say that every time someone
Well-
comes in?
It's the last pleasantry some people might have.
Ruben, I've got a question. How many wild forms do I have?
You can have as many as you want as things you've seen.
No, I meant how many
How many times a day? 2 times a day.
2 times a day.
Times a long rest.
Got
Times a
you.
long rest.
So I've already done it. I've done it once.
You got
So I get it. I get it once per level, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't. Yeah, I just didn't know that because I only have
you
one
get it 2
written
times.
down on my
You get it 2. You don't get it once per level, but right now you have it 2 times a day.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah.
think it's like your level indicates how many hours you could be in the.
Yes, that is correct. Half your level, I think, is
Mhm.
hours.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I won't change into anything
Mm-hmm.
because I was gonna change into something to take the cuffs off.
Yeah.
Ye-
Yeah.
You,
Back in a monkey.
you. I'm gonna be kind of speaking over. Are the 4 of us in the same cell? I may not be picturing this the right way.
Yeah, we're all in the same
The
cell.
6 of you are all in one large 40 by 40 foot
Okay.
room with just benches along the sides. It's very like undecorated. Benches along the sides, cold stone floor with sand and dust sort of tracked across it,
Yeah.
and a cess trough in the side of the room with
Yeah,
your
certainly.
sort of chain anchors on it, and thin windows at the very top which lead up to, if you were like looking just over the edge, like in the 15-foot high room,
Yeah.
you'd be able to see just like at floor level of the fighting arena.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna look over to Barbas, and you don't look like a simple man, and I mean that in terms of a mentally simple man.
Explain that to him, not me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Jerome doesn't elaborate. You. Jerome kind of thinks about how he's going to phrase his next couple words. You committed no crime, did you?
I'm gonna like just look up at him, realizing that words are kind of futile at this point, and because I've lost control of my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hold up one of my chains, and with my hand, I'm just going to start this green sort of like viscous vapor starts coming out of my hand. I'm going to try and melt my chain.
Okay. With what?
With poison spray.
Okay. Poison spray is not acid splash, so it won't do anything. Like, you would know that.
When you described the spell, that is exactly how you described it. Anyway,
No, I described it as doing that to people. It's like biological poison. It's not acid splash. Which is
you just never mind. It's cool. Because I asked what it did, and you were like, "Oh yeah, you could like melt locks with it and stuff."
That's okay. I didn't say that.
So, yeah. So I do nothing. I retract everything I do. I just stare at you.
Okay, yeah, no nodding or nothing.
I look around and I say, "Who in here can fight
I fight well.
with your hands?"
I fight well.
I say, I look over at
I'm better with a
Barbas.
blade. Ikal says.
Yeah, I look at Barbas and I say,
Will give me, says the orc.
"Raise your hand if you can fight." I look around again.
I'm just looking at you with like the look like, are you retarded toward Kobus?
Oh, I'm not even like I'm just gazing over your head. Like,
Yeah.
a bit of a short
yeah, I'm
person.
just.
I look at Barbas especially because I know it looks like he can't talk or doesn't know how to or something. He just stares at me, doesn't raise his hand.
I just stare at you.
Say, right. So, 2 gods enter. None come out. They can't close that door, it seems. If there's bodies in the way. There's not much thought past that, but to find the key, hopefully one of them have it. They come in to unbind us.
How will you keep from making enough noise to alert more guards, potentially
can
box
kill-
us in?
I can kill both these guards with my bare hands before they can make noise.
Very well, but how will we be able to escape? The place is crawling with them.
Up the walls, Fred. Can you climb?
Better than I can fight.
Right. Can you do anything useful?
Yeah, he takes it as a legitimate question, and he starts to think a bit. Well, if you're seriously considering this,
It's that or die in the pits. They won't stop until you die.
You start hearing bootfuls of not the 2, not the 6, but many people heading in your direction.
oh shit.
Many have
As-
earned their freedom.
Behind the iron grate, you see maybe 20, 25. You're not sure because you can't even get the full breadth of view. Guards standing there. One of them just basically smacks their short blade's hilt into the iron bars to get everybody's attention. Your fight will be in 10 minutes. I hope all of you are prepared. It will be lethal.
Is that separate from my fight?
It's all of your fight. Turns away.
We are fighting
And now
together.
all the 20 guards are just waiting there, seemingly getting ready. You see some of them seem to be splitting off.
I say, right. Never mind then.
And I think that's where we're going to take our break.
Nice.